So this video is going to be about my Maverick and I parting ways. And as many of you know, I've been well on the Maverick bandwagon for a while. I pre-ordered one way before they came out, waited a very long time for the Maverick. And for the most part, I was very happy with the vehicle. My issues with Maverick stem from just really one thing. It was that reoccurring leak that I had, and probably well over 10 visits to the dealership to try and get that fixed. And in the end, I just felt like I wasn't confident enough that that issue had gone away permanently. So, right before I actually decided to uh, go ahead and sell that vehicle, I actually had a huge rainstorm in my area, and I couldn't see any water, but I could still smell like a musty smell. And it was at that point, I was almost at 24,000 miles. I had just changed jobs and wanted to do some things different where I wasn't commuting as much anymore. And I decided that I just didn't want to take the chance with that vehicle anymore. So my situation is possibly specific to my vehicle. I know there's some other people out there who have had issues with their Maverick. And I don't want to say the vehicle is unreliable, but my specific vehicle, I had a lot of problems with it. So that's why I ultimately ended up parting ways with it. Would I buy one again? Possibly. I'm not sure. I've thought about the new ones, but the price has jumped up quite a bit. And the all-wheel drive system on the hybrid does not seem that great. I mean, it's great to have. It's probably better to have that in a snowy condition than not to have it. I don't get a lot of snow where I am anyway. But I feel like the price bump with some of the other issues that I had were it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the price at this point in 2025 for the 2025 model. So I'm just going to go briefly over some of the issues I had. The number one issue was, of course, the leak. And I've done a ton of videos on the leaking situation and how they had a tough time, the dealership, Ford, online, just going back and forth with them, trying to troubleshoot that and figure out what that is. And at the end of the day, they could never really assure me that it would not happen again. In my case, they were telling me it's a one-off case, but I've seen on the forums where some other people had issues with that. So that was one of the number one reasons why. So some other things that have to do with the leak as well was once they actually started repairing the vehicle, seems like the more repairs they did, the more squeaks and rattles I had in the vehicle. So some of the repairs, like for example, when they were checking for a leak, they thought initially it was coming from the sunroof. So they took a lot of paneling and stuff like that around the sunroof off. And then I had like a little whistling / squeaky sound coming from the sunroof that I could never figure out what it was. And I told them about it. They looked at it. They couldn't find anything. So as the leak continued, they took other panels off. They took the door apart, ultimately ended up fixing it, cut in the carpet, put in a new carpet, new padding, all that stuff. And then I had rattles and other things just coming from that area down there. So it just got to a point where over a year of ownership, that vehicle didn't really feel like mine again. I had put in a lot of work into it, but I just wasn't confident that I wasn't going to have another issue with the vehicle, if you understand what I'm saying. At that point, too, the value of the vehicle was still pretty high compared to what they were going for and even the age of the vehicle. So I just decided to roll the dice and I traded it in. And so this is the end of my Maverick story. I haven't done a video in a while. There's been a lot going on, so I'll try to answer any questions if anyone has a question about the Maverick and about anything else with it. Being someone who's 6'2", right now, 210 pounds, that could vary. I still was able to fit in the vehicle, and it's fine for 4 people with transportation. It met all my needs. I've carried a lot of stuff in that vehicle, never had any issue. So from a utility standpoint, the vehicle was fine. It was just looking long-term reliability, I just wasn't sold on it. And I usually keep my vehicles for a while. I didn't want a vehicle where 2, 3 years down the road, something else pops up, it's out of warranty, and the dealership just would not help me. So that is my story. That is my Maverick story. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, please post them in the discussion, and I will try to answer them.
With that, have a good one, and I'll talk to you all soon.